Put this on.
Ready, set, go. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Office Hours with Professor Ware. I am honored to be joined by the one, the only, the Conscious Lee. And we were trying to get this conversation to happen during Black History Month. It didn't quite come off
Yeah.
that way, but we got it in nonetheless. It's an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to be with you, brother. And yeah, I mean, I'll say any opening words, and then we'll just jump right into this thing for real.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's been a long time coming as well. I feel like we've had a few times we've talked in like DM and in comment sections. I'm looking forward to this conversation for everybody that's watching right here. Whether you care for my politics or Dr. Ware's politics, please come in ready to be made uncomfortable, as well as having some of your key core beliefs about America, American imperialism, and unfortunately what's going on with this war to have it be destabilized. What I ask you in good faith, is that you
Yeah,
put your bad faith idea perspectives about me and about this brother to the side and just kind of enjoy the conversation. That's all.
that's a reasonable ask right off the jump. And then we decided to structure the conversation as I've done in the past with our good sister Angelica Ross, with our good sister and teacher Senator Nina Turner, building it around a conversation that's about the past, present, and future of Black liberation, because we're both folks that have embraced and been steeped in the Black liberation tradition, trying to be exponents of it and teachers of it and bearers of that tradition. So we're going to do the past, present, and future. We'll start with the present, move to the past, and then finish up with the future. But I think before we got into that people that follow your feed, they had a question that they wanted you to ask me. So let's go ahead and knock that one out the way before we go any
Let's get
further.
right into it, man. Right now, there are still a lot of people that have a heavy heart, that's still pissed off and mad with a bunch of resentment about what happened or did not happen during 2024. People that's not knowing, you know what I'm saying? This is the person that was vice president for Jill Stein's run. And a lot of people was asking, why am I talking to you? And why, you know what I'm saying? Because you are to blame, you and Jill Stein are to blame spoiling in the election. And I thought that it would be fair, you know what I'm saying, black man to black man, for me to ask, what is your response when you are hit with this, you know what I'm saying, dialogue and being real about the feelings and emotions people have? I think that me and you, we both care about the movement, and we understand that there's certain black folks that won't care or give a damn about for us in the movement, but we still care about them. So with
Yeah.
understanding all the complex feelings, emotions, and being like, hey, Trump is in office right now, who can we blame? Jill Stein. What's your response?
Mm-hmm. I mean, feelings are feelings and facts are facts. And the reality is that anyone that holds the Green Party ticket, the Steinware ticket, responsible for the Democrats losing the election, that's not how math works. The math ain't math. And if you add up all of the third party candidates together, they won't get Kamala even one of the swing states, much less all of them. And I said this in August of 2024 because I understood what was going to happen. And it's the reason why the internal polling inside Kamala's campaign said that they were never going to win that election. Because what I saw was that already by August, the Muslim vote had gone. I'm a Muslim, converted to Islam at age 15 when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I'm not just connected to our community, our Black community, but to the Black Muslim community and the broader Muslim community. And I've been a speaker and lecturer in that community for decades. Yes, decades. I'm 52 because even light-skinned Black don't crack. You might not have suspected that I'm that old. But I only mention this to say that the Democrats went from carrying 65% of the Muslim vote in swing states to polling at about 12% in those same swing states because of the genocide in Gaza. And the reality is that Kamala could have won that election if she just stopped killing kids. And she said that her policy was not going to change one iota from Biden's policy on genocide. If she had marked any distance between Biden's genocidal policies towards Gaza, then she might have had a chance. But that's not my responsibility because they were getting paid good money by AIPAC, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, General Dynamics, and Northrop Grumman to keep right on killing kids. So they kept right on killing kids right up to the time that they lost that election. And if they had ever wanted to just stop killing kids, then they could have kept Trump out of office. That's not on me. That's on them.
Follow-up question. How much do you think Kamala's book 108 days, 107 days, and how much does her interview she had with Angela Rye, where she talks about, you know, regretting some of the decisions that she did not make in the 2024 election? How much do you think that should matter in terms of what you just said?
I mean, let me just be clear. As somebody that learned Black liberation from Malcolm's teaching, I have no love for Black imperialists or for Black Zionists. I really am not interested in Kamala's explanations about what she did or didn't do, unless and until she's willing to reassess her overall position. I'm harder on Obama than I am on Trump because I don't expect nothing from Trump. But if somebody is repping our culture and our tradition, there's nothing worse to me than a Black imperialist, because it's a betrayal of like the fundamental thing of what Blackness and Black liberation is about. So to be perfectly honest, I ain't really been studying too closely what Kamala had to say about her 108 days, and neither am I studying Angela Rye, because when I was on Breakfast Club with Dr. Jill, Angela Rye was sent in to try to ambush us, right? To try to knock down the Green Party platform. And she ended up doing the exact opposite, because when I was on the Breakfast Club, I got 1,000 DMs that day that said that I handled Angela's attacks with composure and clarity, and that convinced them on the spot that they were going to vote green.
Man, I missed that back and forth. I missed that back
You
and
missed
forth.
me on the Breakfast Club?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
No, I seen. Hold on. Nah, I felt like I remember when Dr. Mark Lamont Hill got chastised for saying he was voting green. No, actually, it's a lot. It's a lot because it went viral, and I found it where I always find myself in real weird positions that I own. The ideology is like, hey, I'm a capitalism, imperialism, Democrats, all y'all implicated in the same shit. But I know when it comes time to, you know what I'm saying, do a bunch of little strategizers, like, hey, I need some reproductive justice policy. You gonna give me something right here? I work with you on this policy right here. I think that sometimes it make it where I find my audience anyways, like, hey, we have a policy disagreement. And I don't know how we're going to navigate this policy disagreement, because you want to make it about everything but policy. And I think that's where I feel like when we start getting into when we get into the past, right? Get into now, right? First, right now first. Get into now first.
With the present.
I feel like getting into the present, fam. I think that is where it starts to get very dicey, especially for how my audience is set up, between being set up between a bunch of liberals and leftists, and how the comment section kind of, you know what I'm saying, operates. Right now, I believe that a lot of us leftists are feeling vindicated, like, I told y'all. And I think that a lot of liberals are coming to the mindset of being like, hey, I don't know, when did America get like this? And I think that tension behind, hey, is this the America that we've been having, or is this the America that Trump ushered in? That is the big, you know what I'm saying, disagreement, or that's the big, you know what I'm saying, discrepancy between us on the left. You know what I mean? I think that now is the time for us to really get into some shit.
And that's where those of us, you know, like most deaf, you know, Black on both sides, right? That's where we're supposed to be able to, you know, to read the moment and understand that it's actually not about the vindication of our ideology, but it's about the liberation of our people. And I think a lot of times people get lost in the sauce. If you go to my website, butchwareforgov.com, at the bottom it says solidarity beyond identity and ideology. We're not always going to see eye to eye on every single thing, but if we share,
say it again, say that part again. You got to clip this part. Say that part again.
We are not always going to see eye to eye on every single thing, but to get to liberation, it's going to take solidarity beyond identity and ideology. I'm going to go further. I'll give you some more bars on exactly this. Nina Turner, the great Senator Nina Turner, longtime Democrat progressive, has endorsed my campaign. And you know, we talked about this. She's actually serving in an advisory capacity to my campaign for governor. Now, why? Because Nina and I share that Black liberation tradition. We see eye to eye on 98% of things. We don't see eye to eye on every single thing. But if you can't be in coalition with people that you share goals and values with, and that your integrity is intact. You're not taking money from the corporations. You're not taking money from AIPAC. If you have a disagreement about strategy or about a policy, some people think that the Democrats some people think the Democrats can be redeemed or used. I know that they can't, but that's my judgment, right? And so if they make a different estimation, but we're working towards the same goals and we keep our integrity, then I have to be ready to stand in coalition with such people, because otherwise we're basically it's just some gang stuff, man. It's literally like you're just banging on the other side because they're the other side. So for me, like, we have to think about conversations that are about how we get to liberation, and that takes coalition, that takes not compromise, but takes solidarity.
I agree with you, and I'm scared that in the past, I'm being real with you, bro. I'm being vulnerable with you, fam. In the past year and a half, I have sadly accepted that everybody's goal is not liberation, and that there are some people that have a burning passion to just be included in the neoliberal project. Meaning,
brother,
that I'm cool with the imperialism shit. I'm cool with I'm cool with killing babies. I'm cool with all that, actually. Can you see my humanity? And can you give me privilege or give me some comfort within the way that the society set up? I'm cool with whatever society got to do to justify itself in bloodshed. I'm cool with that, as long as they know me, and as long as I have comfort in this. And I've just accepted that it's like, yeah, that's why we have a disagreement on certain values, past strategies, because we don't. You just want comfort. I want liberation.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Because let's just be clear about this. And this was actually, I feel, this was where a lot of people got certain kind of feelings about me during the presidential campaign, because I wasn't afraid to name this. For me, a lot of our people don't want freedom. They just want their turn as the oppressor. Right? They don't want liberation. And some people just want to be the head nigga in charge. And I saw a lot of people that claimed abolitionists, right? But then all of a sudden were willing to, to throw their credibility onto the table to defend an agent of the carceral state, somebody that locked people up in Oakland for truancy of their children, somebody that locked up a generation of Black men, and somebody who was actively supporting an ongoing genocide that El Haj Malik Shabazz, behind me, Malcolm X, said of the Zionist entity in 1964. He said that this is a white Jewish population being empowered by white imperialists to move brown Arabs off their land. Malcolm understood Zionism as white supremacy. James Baldwin understood Zionism as white supremacy. 1979, open letter to the born again. He said the state of Israel was not created for the salvation of the Jews. The state of Israel was created for the salvation of Western interests. So for me, the Black radical tradition, the liberation tradition, that's what it's about for us. It's not about inclusion into systems of oppression and being the boss of them. I don't want to be an overseer on master's plantation. I want us all to get free.
I want master plantation to be completely gone. But I think that brings us very appropriately into what's happening right now in Iran. I think that you and I understood that when it came to international relations, that if you're showing the American people that you have an unapologetic relationship with taxpayers' dollars and doing whatever Israel tell you, if they say, hey, I'm scared to do something to me, this gonna mean you gotta be the best ally you gotta be and say, all right, I got you. You see what I'm saying? And to me, it's just like all the conversation about y'all care about Israel-Palestine, meaning it's a single issue. To me, right now, it shows that this issue is a lot bigger than we gave it credit for, which I think that we just got done with the primary race yesterday here in Texas.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And, it was a lot of controversy specifically around how many people was voting. I mean, how many people was running for office, and, what the voter suppression was looking like. I know that I've been paying attention to what's going on in California. And it's folks that's mad and saying that we got too many Democrats on the
on the ticket. Yeah.
Y'all gonna put a Republican in office because it's too many of y'all. I feel like seeing you right now, looking at you right now, it's like, damn, bro, you really didn't took on a lot of you feel me? Like
things look different.
Curious, what you think about
things look. Well, listen, man. Things look different from here on the ground. So the first part is, is that let's just be clear about the way that the California primary is structured. So it's a jungle primary. Only the top 2 candidates advance, irrespective of party. It's not my.
Oh, hold on.
It's not partisan primary. So they're playing games with you when they talk about it in this way. They're literally just they're playing in y'all faces because they only have a lesser of 2 evils argument. So let me just break it down for you really quickly. There is no scenario in which 2 Republican candidates are going to get through. There's only 2 scenarios that are possible. It's either a blue versus a green, or it's a blue versus a red. You have a choice. Do you want them running against me or chasing a Republican to the right? And the reason why I say that is that, so Mamdani, for example, in February before his primary in June, he was polling at 1%. Bro, I'm polling at 5%, 5 times ahead of where Mamdani was. Mamdani had to get to 50% in a Democrat primary. I have to finish in the top 2 in an open primary. The leaders are at 13% right now. I'm 8 points off the lead. So the reality is them fear-mongering about me like I'm the problem. If they're serious, they can get the Republicans out of the race on June 2nd, 2026, and it'll just be whichever corporate Democrat is running to be the next Gavin Newsom, probably Eric Swalwell, or as I called him in my diss track, Eric Swallowwell for Israel. I don't know if you've seen, I was the first ever candidate to do a political ad in the form of diss track, and I said, Eric Swallowwell for Israel and Kate for the cops. He wrote a thank you note to Ice Kid, I kid you not. He dropped draws for APAC. Me, I rep Tupac, and the Panthers like a Fenny, good and plenty, catching many. Katie Porter up next. She beat up her ex, and she screamed at her staff, pout and storm off the set. They want you drowning in debt. I'll get free healthcare in college. Lay it down, it's a bet. Professor Ware dropping knowledge. So they don't want to deal with that on the debate stage from June to November. So they're going to fearmonger you that I'm going to turn the state to Republicans, but it's the exact opposite. We can have the Republicans out the race on June 2nd and have it be a contest between the left and the liberals and see who's left standing.
Man, shout out to the boss. Appreciate that. Yeah, shout out to Crystal. Yeah, Crystal. Crystal, I was like, oh shit. Man,
I came up spitting. I never wanted to be anything except for an MC or a baseball player. And I was blessed to do both. I had a college baseball scholarship, play minor league baseball, play some baseball overseas, and we'll stay spitting rhymes. Like that's how we came up. That's what we were raised in. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
And this is what I know though. I know regardless of what anybody would want to say about that performance, specifically when it comes to bars and using your position to spit, you know what I'm saying, Black culture, I think that I would have been one of them little boys that would have been inspired by everything you doing and saying, bro. So I know from being in this space, it can be very discouraging. It can be very, you feel me, heavy. You know what I'm saying? You can feel like, damn, what y'all coming for me for? But I want to let you know, definitely, man. I'm 35, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, like, man, I know for a fact I'm 18, 17, and I don't know what's possible. Me seeing you being able to do this in a state like California and being able to have a force to reckon with, you got 5% already. It's like, nah, man. So I know my audience is different. You feel me? So shout out to all the young Black boys listening.
And that's why we fell for the Obama okie doke, right? Because we are so desperately in need of people that look like us, but they not all like us, man. You know, like Obama was setting records for deportation. Obama was bombing Yemeni kids. And so we need folks that not just, represent our skin color and our culture, but that represent our politics. So that's where I want to come to you with a question. You've been asking me all the questions. I'm gonna come back at you now with a question. So what it we have to make this a recurring series because this is too much fun already. But let's just. So I mean, what does it look like from where you are sitting at in Texas now for somebody that is taking the measure of the moment, understanding what American imperialism really is, right? So we know where to be standing when they start, bombing, Iran and running the same game that they ran on us with Iraq. We know about what Malcolm said about chickens coming home to roost. We know what M.A. Césaire said about the imperial boomerang, right? So we know the relationship. Malcolm said that you can't get free in Mississippi unless you know what's going on in Congo. So what does it look like from you? From your standpoint, especially with your particular online audience, and then where you're based in Texas, like where we at right now, bro?
Man, right now the internet has made local politics in Texas a very weird place. because a lot of us Texans,
Mm-hmm.
especially my age, we never really understood a lot of things that was possible inside of America, especially because we was always forced to frame that through whatever was the Republican regime here in Texas. So when I think about what's happening in Texas, I'm 35 years old. When I seen them doing all them weak ass ads during the election time, Democrats are in power and they're it's like, Democrats where? You have been running this state on the local, county, state level for over 3 decades, and you still have a way of not taking responsibility and blaming the borders, blaming the economy. So for me, it's like I think I'm always caught off guard myself and thinking like, hey, how do I ground what I know, what I seen was possible in New York City? How do I ground that and seeing what they're doing in New York and what they're doing in Missouri, and think about what we're doing here in Texas? And to be honest with you, it always put me in this weird position of knowing what is possible, and it's really possible material reality, but also knowing the people in my reality have a very limited understanding of what we can have. I think about this. I know you a doctor, so I know within the academy we debate whether this quote is real or not. I think regardless if it's real or not, it's still real or not, it still has some credence. When they asked Harriet Tubman allegedly what you could have did, and she said, I could have saved more slaves, I could have convinced them with slaves. It's a lot of things here in Texas that people just accept as a truism. And because they accept it as a truism, it limits their imagination for how we can think about our political reality. And sometimes it's frustrating, sometimes it's encouraging, sometimes it really just depends. But I can be real with you, fam, and say, like, hey, it's a reason why people don't believe we can have anything more radical than a James Tallarico or James Jackson Crockett. It's some people believe we can't have anything more radical than that because we're in Texas. So I think a lot of times Danish response is like, hey, limiting. I feel limiting. I feel limited.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, and you broke that down. I want to come back to the Texas and California comparison because it's crazy to listen to Democrats saying the exact same things, right? They've run the state by themselves for 60 years and still nonetheless somehow fear-mongering that the Republicans are the problem while the state is being run into the ground. So the math ain't math, and for Lil Gavin. I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. But I want to go in on the deepest part, philosophically speaking, of what you just said. Was about the limitations on our mindset. So, I just bear with me for a second because I'm gonna tell the truth of this. So when I was 15, I read Malcolm's autobiography. I read that book cover to cover in one night because I could not put that book down. I wanted what Malcolm had because Malcolm was honest about how badly America had broken him and what it turned him into. A hustler, like in and out of foster care. And you got to understand, like my father was a locksmith with a 6th grade education and he hustled. He stayed strapped. My mom was 15 years old, pregnant with me, told by her high school guidance counselor to abort the child because she was pregnant by a black man. I came in 1973 with white supremacy trying to take me out. I never lived at the same street address for a calendar year until I turned 9 because we was in and out of shelters, public housing, staying with relatives, like, facing homelessness. And so what I wanted was what Malcolm had. Malcolm overcame all of that. And so I went out the next day, checked out an English translation of the Quran from my high school library, read that cover to cover the next night, converted to Islam by the end of the week. And that was the beginning of me entering the tradition of Islam, but also the Black liberation tradition. Now, why do I mention it now? Because what got Malcolm free was that he escaped all of those mental chains. Malcolm said, never let your enemy tell you how many of you there are. Never let the man that you are against form your opinions of you. For you. Malcolm was always making his own independent assessment of the situation because once he got free in here and in here, then they couldn't hold him with no cell. He was able to have triumph over all of his inner demons and his external oppressors. And that's what our people need. Our people need the healing from the trauma that white supremacy and empire has inscribed upon us, because that is actually the thing that leads us to true liberation. That's what allows us to become these uncompromised and uncompromising instruments of liberation, like a James Baldwin, like a Malcolm X. They faced their demons and came out monsters on the other side, fearless, right? And so when you talk about the limitations inside our mentalities, like I see the same thing that you see. I see folks that are conditioned to helplessness, conditioned to accept the status quo, and not able to imagine radical liberation politics the way that Huey P. did, the way that Kwame Ture did, the way that Assata Shakur did.
And that right there is, I think, what the disconnect sometimes is from the California to Texas is that
Yeah.
America, I feel like I can get philosophical with you. I would argue
Come
that
on.
American epistemology is all about
Yeah.
teaching us that democracy is the highest level of human development of governmentality, and that we can
Yeah.
always reform democracy and make it better, and we can only measure the utility of democracy based off the ideas. We cannot get into realism. We cannot get into material reality when we start talking about democracy, because
Pay
these
no attention to empirical evidence.
for the guys, now empirical evidence doesn't count, and empirical evidence
Yeah.
is only making it where you're holding democracy to the worst parts of it, and it's just like, damn, I don't know what to do with that. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up right now is because I think there's a tension with defending democracy, protecting democracy, believing that democracy is going to be able to get us out of this, and almost, dare I say, what Trump is doing is not democracy. I believe
Okay.
that Trump
Beautiful.
is very democratic. I believe
Yeah.
that.
No.
I believe that. To me, like when Abraham Traore was saying, "Shit, y'all don't give them democracy. Y'all don't give them stability. Y'all give us democracy." To me, I think that all Trump is doing is like, "Hey, the shit I've been giving to the global community, I'm gonna give it to Americans." But it doesn't change democracy. It's just like this was the international shit they used to give.
So now you listen. I might be in my office. I'm a professor at University of California, Santa Barbara, but you holding whole lessons right now. So respect and appreciation. I'm gonna say it like this. They are very clearly running the same destabilization playbook in the United States that they ran in all of their regime change operations around the globe. And once, see, this is what made Malcolm different, Huey P different, Kwame Ture. They didn't just take the measure of Black liberation inside of the borderline of Massa's fence. They took an international perspective on it. So I'll give you one that allows you to understand why Texas can play these silly games, even though Republicans have run the state into the ground, like you said, for the last 30 years. They can nonetheless somehow still blame Democrats, and Democrats been running the state in the ground for the last 60 years, and California can nonetheless somehow blame Republicans. But here's why. So it was a great African revolutionary, the first president of Tanzania, Julius Nyerere, who said, "Of course the United States is a single party state, but with classic American extravagance, they have two of them." Right? He had the duopoly.
What's his name? What's his name?
Julius Nyerere, Nyerere, first president of Tanzania. So why? What is he saying? Because when I try to explain people what the duopoly is and why, red versus blue ain't it, right? Then I usually use Nyerere, but I just point out, listen, man, if you were to make a Venn diagram of the donor base for the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, it's going to be a single circle, no two circles. Their donor base is the same. So they have to stage a fake culture war between right and left. They have to so-called right and so-called left, because they both right-wing parties. Let's be clear about that. They both capitalist parties. They both imperialist parties. They both white supremacist parties. It's just that some allow a little more skin folk and others don't, right? Go ahead, say it.
I figured it out. This is what it is. We say the same shit and we believe most of the same shit. All it is your delivery is more matter of fact, unapologetic, and mine is a little bit more, because I agree with you. I would have said it differently. And right now, to be honest with you, right? I have
you can sweeten it for me. Go ahead, sweeten it for me. I appreciate that.
I'm real with you right now. I'm my process of like, I get why some people don't like you, but other people's like, I don't get why y'all don't like them. But what you just said, though, and how you said it, was like, this is what people don't like. Sometimes, like, we know America like it like, hey, I'm cool with imperialism. I want that pretty face like Obama. I'm cool with imperialism, but I think Biden would have been better. You just like, fuck imperialism in every instance. You know what I'm saying? And
that's not just me, though. That's the people, but that's the people that we claim to respect. You alluded to what Harriet Tubman said. She said, "I freed 1,000 slaves. I'd have freed 1,000 more if only they knew that they were slaves." So what did Malcolm say? Malcolm said, and I need my people to listen to this in this moment. Malcolm said, the white liberal is a fox. It bares its teeth. You think that it's smiling at you, but you are on the menu. The white conservative is a wolf. When it bares its teeth, it's into a vicious snarl that leaves the Negro with no illusion as to where he stands. And Malcolm said in '64, he said, the white liberal is the most dangerous thing in the Western Hemisphere. You think Trump is bad? What were white conservatives doing in '64? They were hanging niggas from trees. They were turning dogs and fire hoses on little kids. They were putting bullets in the brains of white voting rights activists and burying them in shallow graves next to Mississippi roads. And Malcolm said what he said, and he wasn't wrong. And the reason is that a hidden enemy is more dangerous to you than an open enemy. People will voluntarily sign up for slavery to Gavin Newsom because they think that he's on their side when he is nothing but a blue version of Donald Trump. So I'm going to call a spade a spade. And last one from Malcolm, for my people that still don't hear this. Huey P. said that the Democrats are ops. Assata Shakur said that the Democrats are ops. Kwame Ture said, I could never identify with the Democrats, but Malcolm said it best. He said, you put them first and they put you last. And that makes you a chump. That makes you a political chump. What have our people gotten in return for our fidelity to a party that has turned us into the grist of the carceral mill? The crime bill, that was Bill Clinton and Joe Biden. Don't tell me that these Democrats are our friends. I read Malcolm. I know better.
All I would add to that is our uncle brother Martin said, Negroes, I'm afraid to tell you, but our biggest stumbling block might not be the Ku Klux Klan, but the white moderate. And I think
the white moderate.
I feel like a lot of us think that we have to have the quid pro quo type of relationship that says that if we think that you better for us than them, then this means we got to be always nice to you and always do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, I don't think everybody got to subscribe to that politics. It's like even if you think that Democrats are better than Republicans, there are a lot of criticisms that they're not immune from. And that's how what you just said. That's how what you just said. Right now, there's no debate that the Republicans are going further right. There's no debate. There's also no debate that the Democrats keep on looking for this mythical moderate voter that doesn't exist. So if you want to stay in the middle and they going further right, by relationality, you're going further right too. And that's just something that,
so, you know. The ratchet effect, right? So the idea is that they chase the Republicans to the right and they block off any, movement back towards the left. So right now, and this was my problem, my fundamental problem with Kamala Harris, was really that she was to the right of Ronald Reagan on everything. Right? That if you look objectively to where the Democrats are in 2024, 2026, the neoliberal iteration of the party is to the right of Ronald Reagan on every economic policy, on immigration, on the carceral state, all of it. Like, we have two hard right-wing parties. So for me, I can't have this lesser of two evils idea, in my head. And then the last part about this, I'll let you go ahead and handle what you got to handle.
Yeah.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah, my kids got the school bus. They saying hi.
My son.
2 minutes.
My son. Well, we on West Coast time. My son is going to be off the bus in about 2 hours. So that's the reason why I scheduled at this time. And my little dude Idris, he has special needs. So Daddy got to be there to get him off the bus. Every time. That's how it is. So I understand. So yeah, I'm not quite sure where we left off, but I'm just going to go back to for me the core takeaway. The core takeaway is that our fidelity to the Democrats has not produced liberation for us, and our liberation here. So where are the Democrats on reparations? Where are the Democrats on transformation of the carceral state? This is a capitalist party. We've been chasing. They've been getting further and further to the right and farther away from anything that serves Black people. And at what point in time do we condition our approval of the Democrats on them actually doing something for our people? Or do we just, rubber stamp anything that they do without asking anything in return from from them. I think it's really, really crucial that we have a politics that's not corporate owned, that isn't making any money off the school to prison pipeline or the prison industrial complex or the poverty industrial complex. And so I'm much less concerned, you know, like about and frankly, I resent the way that they weaponize Black identity to try to get people to endorse anti-Black policies. I can't stand that. That makes me sick.
Yeah. I've been having a lot of
Okay,
conversations.
Oh, go ahead. No, you good. My bad.
I've been
No, I was
having
just gonna push. I was gonna push us to the past. I was gonna push us to the past since we were talking a little bit about history.
Please do.
So because well, that's one of the things, you know, that you're a brother that's a little bit younger than me, and that's one of the things I appreciate about what you do. And there's some other brothers in the space and sisters too. You know, like Khalil Green, you know, does outstanding content. You know, that kind of bring that historical perspective. You know, give people. So what I'm curious about, like, you know, you coming up in the, you know, the generation behind mine, like how are you, you know, how are you taking from the past of our people's collective struggle to try to apply it in this moment? Like, what are the lessons that you think are most relevant from our, you know, shared past of collective liberation struggles, like that you trying to bring back, that you want to hit refresh on the browser?
Man, the main things right now is getting back to the lessons of Ida B. Wells specifically, and thinking about everything that Ida B. Wells went through, and thinking about how a lot of folks are being held captive to what's recently happened. When it comes to Don Lemon and the other Black journalists, you feel me, that was came for, it's like understanding that if you contextualize what's going on right now, you might not understand that we've been had these different eras where Black people have been criminalized, speaking truth to power, and even understanding this. My understanding of the 60s is that there's always been a level of radicalness that the white folks have positioned different Black people. And there's always been different levels of radicalness that have, you know what I'm saying, expressed itself. And for me, it's just thinking about where I'm at in terms of like history, but also making it where, like, hey, do not trick yourself, Mr. Lee, George, Conscious, whatever the hell you want to call yourself. Do not trick yourself into believing that anything we experiencing right now is too far from what we've already experienced. And the main thing right now is do not engage in American exceptionalism like everybody else. Do not engage in American exceptionalism like everybody else. You need to stay true to everything you've learned about this country. Stay true to everything you understand about the structure of this country, and do not try to write off any of the fascist tendencies of this country to be German. Fuck Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Don't make anything to be Italian. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Stalin. It's like, hey, we have to be real as Americans and recognize that there is nothing more American than what we're experiencing right now. And in order for me to be
nothing more American,
swear to God. So it's like, for me, in order for me to be real, I gotta be real. You know what I'm saying? In order for me to have a good strategy, I have to have my toes planted 10 toes in the reality I am to have a good strategy. And just right now, it's a bunch of colorblindness. It's a bunch of American exceptionalism going on. It's like, hey, peep game. Afro-pessimism taught me that anti-Blackness can be used to describe damn near anything. And what I would say right now is anti-Blackness is starting to be marked onto non-Black bodies in ways because y'all already agreed that anti-Black violence was cool. Y'all already showed it. Y'all showed anti-Black violence was cool, and now it's just being marked on different bodies. Which also, I feel this. When Pete Hegseth came out and was like, Israel and America don't go, we ain't got to abide by no rules. It's like, yeah, we already agreed. We don't care about y'all blowing.
We already knew that. We already knew that. You know, when I try to tell people, you know, when I try to tell people why the United Nations has never done anything to like stop what Israel's doing, the United States doing, I was like, you got to understand that that's brought to you by the same people that gave you the Balfour Declaration for the division of Palestine. That's brought to you by the same people that did the Berlin Conference dividing up Africa. That's a gentleman's agreement between colonizing powers on how to not fight with each other about how they divvy up the spoils. That was never meant to protect any people of color anywhere from anything. But you put your hand, you put your finger right on it. And I realize now that this is why I like the content that you do, because like me, you're 10 toes down, rooted in Black culture and the experience of this place. Listen, my grandfather, Rudolph Ware Sr. So I go by Butch, but if you go to Georgia, I'm Lil Butch because my father was Butch, and I'm Rudolph Ware III because Rudolph Sr. That he named his son, you know, after him, and then I was named after my father. Ware County, Georgia, is where my ancestors were held in bondage. And Ware County, Georgia is named Ware County because if you go back to WPA slave narratives, the formerly enslaved people described 3 white men that owned 1,100 human beings on 3 separate plantations. It was a man, his son, and his nephew, right? And if you find anywhere throughout the South, Georgia, Mississippi, all the way through to Texas, they all will go back to Georgia, right? So the point is that we've been here before there was even a United States of America, and we're owed reparations for the harm that was done to us. And the people that had the clearest vision of how to get us free understood that that was an international approach. David Walker's Appeal to the Colored Citizens of the World, 1829, probably the first Pan-Africanist document. Edward Wilmot Blyden said the same. Paul Robeson, W.E.B. Du Bois. These are people that understood that as soon as you apply a colonial lens and you understand that the problem of Black suffering in the United States of America is produced by a broader system of capitalism, white supremacy, and imperialism, then you are actually capable of getting free. Because if you don't cut the problem off at its root, then you're just dealing with the branches. And we're just going to be dealing with the branches of American exceptionalism, how we specifically got harmed. And right, without understanding that there's a reason why they're going to war in Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan, and a reason why they got kids enslaved in Congo and are destabilizing the Sudan, that it's all connected. And we don't get free here unless and until we are able to be part of a broader effort to take down capitalism, imperialism, and white supremacy.
You know what? I ain't never thought about it like this, but colonialism and slavery is international. Slavery and colonialism, international issues. A lot of our Black asses are here in America. Matter of fact, everybody here in America, except for indigenous people, but they've been uniquely impacted by, are here because of the international issues of colonialism and slavery. The reason why you and I are expressing ourselves in English right now is because the English believed in their international superiority. They can go bring humanity to our ancestors in West Africa and bring our ass over there. So for me, it's thinking about how international relations has always already been a cornerstone of American, of Black folks' liberation. And I think about it like this.
And that, I'll go ahead. Sorry.
Ellis Island, or thinking about right now, Donald Trump said no Black or no Muslim, no Arab immigrants, except for the white folks from Ukraine and the white folks from South Africa. This to me is about white kinship and how white people have always been able to practice global kinship at the expense of Black folks, and how a lot of niggas get lost in the sauce of thinking like, hey, nah, you think you can wage a global war with no allies. You think that you can have a system.
There's so much wrong with it. It's such a broken philosophy. One, it denies the contributions of our most revolutionary ancestors. So Huey P. Newton, what he said, police in our communities, patrol our communities the way that foreign troops occupy territory. They occupy our community the same way that they occupy Vietnam. He said they can't possibly be there to protect our property because we own no property. They can't possibly be there to protect due process of law because they themselves violate due process of law. So what he was saying is if you use a colonial lens to read the Black situation in America, then you will see the Black situation in America more clearly. And because Huey P. founded what he founded alongside Bobby Seale, and then Elaine Brown, a brilliant Black woman, came to leadership in it, somebody like Fred Hampton could create 10 toes down in Blackness now, help build the young lords, right? Yep. Help build the young patriots, found the brown berets, international coalitions that were capable of moving us towards collective liberation. And I want to be clear about this, is that when King started talking about socialism and anti-war movements and international coalitions, that's when they took him out. When Malcolm started talking about, universality instead of the message that the nation was on, and when he was creating the Organization of Afro-American Unity, and he was no longer on a racist philosophy that called white folks devils, that's when they took him out. When Fred Hampton was building an international movement of working class people, so the man, Mr. Charlie, Mr. Bobo, Sam has already told you what he fears most. So you already know where you should be applying your pressure. You should be applying your pressure to Black liberation movements with an international dimension. And when we have done that, we have inspired the whole planet. Have we not? Like there were movements that took up on what we did everywhere, Panthers everywhere. I talk too much. I'm
no, we good. We both a little neurodivergent, and we, you know what I'm saying, the ideas is coming. I'm right now. I'm just thinking about all the various ways that I'm gonna say this. You have illustrated one of the many reasons of why us as Black Americans are not taught about the Haitian Revolution in terms of our like public education, as well as why we not taught about really anything throughout the diaspora. It's because they understand having that international framework allows for us to think about, listen, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Me knowing that my bag of Lay's, I used to love to eat me a bag of chips with, is going to be used to blow up a Palestinian in Gaza or West Bank, that shit changed our relationship with the product. You see what I'm saying? Me even trying to enjoy, you feel me? I just go to Starbucks all the time. I can't see Starbucks the same. It's a lot of products that services and products that if I just stuck about it in terms of domestic, this, that, and the other, I think nothing of it. But I think about this internationally. Like, how long is this? This is very important in terms of history. Let's think about it, folks. Folks watching might not have connected the dots like this. When I say slavery is an international issue, America didn't become a global powerhouse until we had King Cotton. So what I'm getting into right now is that the product of cotton, whether you was putting it in your jacket, whether you was putting it in your coat, whether you was putting it in your socks, this is what they were selling. I used to always ask myself, damn, how could a person drink tea or wear cotton knowing that people were being murdered for it? That's some evil shit. I used to always think that in my whole life. I'm born and raised in Texas. So I used to go past when my parents used to be, my people in the plantation be like, damn, worked that plantation and people in the world knew we was dying for the cotton. They still want the cotton. I can't help but think about it when it comes to any of the products. Coca-Cola, Lay's, Pizza Hut, McDonald's. I keep on naming. It's like, hey, but going back to what we're talking about right now, is like, this is the reason why having an international analysis is frowned upon, because you start impacting their money. You start impacting and connecting dots in ways that make it where it's like, hey, people, you said this is why I got a beef with Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffries. Okay, I don't expect every nigga to be like Malcolm X. I don't expect for every nigga to be as radical as I am. You see what I'm saying?
You ain't gotta be AIPAC Shakur either, though. But go ahead. Yeah, no.
But the guys do gotta be AIPAC Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do not have to. There is no justification for you to say you care about criminal justice in America while you are in cahoots with people that literally perpetuate criminal injustice in America. Ain't no way in hell you can tell me that the laws go. You know what I'm saying? Go train niggas to go train with IDF. To learn their strategies, to perfect them, and then come back and go to Ferguson or go to Dallas or go to Atlanta, and you tell me you care about I don't believe you. I don't believe Cory Booker or Hakeem Jeffries. It's just like, this is my beef, though. Y'all insult our intelligence, and then you discourage having an international politic because you don't want to keep the dots like this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
See, thing is, so capitalism's a hell of a drug. I mean, and that's the core issue, right? Because you came back to the consumption. You came back to the consumption of the Starbucks. I almost spit it out when I realized that they were giving me Starbucks on the plane, because I'm like, I don't be drinking that stuff. It's mixed with blood. And that literally takes me to another point. You talked about the Haitian Revolution. See, what happens when you take on the international dimension and the historical dimension is that it immediately makes you an anti-capitalist, and that's the thing that they're afraid of, right? Because that's the thing that they're most afraid of. So you know about the Haitian Revolution. People that only know me from my political work, don't know my academic work, don't understand that I wrote about an anti-slavery revolution in the Senegal River Valley in the 1770s that abolished the slave trade and ended slavery itself. And the leader of that movement, Abdul Qadir Khan, black Muslim, jet black Muslim, he said in his letters that he was cutting off all trade with the Europeans. He said a hungry man would nonetheless abstain if he were forced to consume a thing that were mixed with his own blood, right? And that's word life, kid. Like, that's what he said. And so the thing is that that we don't know that we had jet black African Muslim and non-Muslim anti-capitalists that were revolutionaries over in Africa. I lived in Senegal for years, learned to speak the Wolof language fluently, conducted my own oral history interviews in an African language. I got steeped in that history and tradition because Malcolm said, if a cat has kittens in an oven, that don't make them biscuits. He said, you call yourself a Negro. Show me Negro land on the map. Negro, you come from Africa. Part of our rejection, and especially you see this with some so-called ADOS or so-called FBA people, is that they're conditioned to be ashamed of Africa, and they have not confronted that. And the reality is that because there's so much liberation potential in reconnecting with that African history, because the revolutions, the anti-slavery, anti-capitalist revolutions started over there 200 years before Karl Marx was born, right? We didn't need to wait on socialism to do anti-capitalist revolution, bro. And the Haitian Revolution was an anti-capitalist revolution. This is our tradition. I teach at University of California, Santa Barbara. He passed away a few years ago, but the late great Dr. Cedric Robinson wrote the classic Black Marxism, and he was the key proponent of understanding the Black radical tradition.
So you do
and I'm farming in the field that he cleared, right? That this is what we have to understand, that our struggles for liberation connect us with the African continent. They make whole what the slave trade and colonialism broke. And as soon as we empower ourselves, it's not that our identity as African Americans disappears, quite the contrary, right? It's quite the contrary. Exactly. It enriches it. Because I'll still, like, I am not afraid to have, so like the original Senegalese soup kanja alongside my Creole gumbo, because the word gumbo comes from an African word for okra. That's an African stew that got filtered through chefs. Go ahead.
That's what's pathologized. That's what's pathologized.
Say
the
that.
way that we try to engage in Sankofa-like concepts or reaching back and getting our shit, that's what makes us into being the weird, crazy Hakeem. You want to trivialize something about, eating beans or being Afrocentric, or that's when it comes into it. I think about like this as an educator. They're going to teach us about the Spartans, teach us about the Romans, about the Greeks. They're going to teach us about European conflicts that existed after America existed, because they understand that's their kinship. They understand that we can learn more about war and learn more about allies based off of how different Europeans were able to get along and or not get along. It's the reason why I knew a lot about a European history before I knew anything about African American history, because it was forced on me. So when you start thinking about anybody listening to this, because right now I'm also going to be on, it's also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Blog Talk Radio, all this. Everybody listening right now to this.
Everywhere.
Listening, and you have had a little cricking ass, like, damn, I'm feeling uncomfortable right now. Why these guys talking so much about history? I don't get why it matters. It's the reason why the government spend taxpayers' dollars on curriculums teaching us about Greeks and Romans. It's a reason why we learn about Napoleon. We learn about all of the great European fighters, and because they understand that history tells us where we're going. They understand internationally, globally. All that matters when it comes to tools, production, and navigation.
So let me tell you the way, when I'm trying to summarize this for either my university students or for in my community education courses, it's the same message. The only reason why a colonizer tries to break your connection with the past is so that when they tell you who you are, you have no choice but to believe them. You don't have another story. And one of my favorite MCs, Wise Intelligent from Poor Righteous Teachers, I'm a golden age of hip hop, baby. I came up with it. He came to my hip hop history class. So I teach a history of Islam in Africa, Black revolutionary history, pre-colonial Africa, and I teach hip hop history. He came to my hip hop history class and he said, narrative scripts human behavior the way that code scripts computers. Narrative scripts. I got it. Narrative scripts human behavior the way that code scripts computers. The stories that we tell produce the reality that we inhabit. They don't want you to have access to liberation narratives. They don't want you to know the successful abolitionist struggles of West African Muslims or of Haitian rebels, right? They want you to stay in the cage that they have made for your consciousness, which brings me to the last stage. And I'm looking at the time. I want to be respectful of your time and your family's time, right? Rooted in the history, with our measure of the present, like what's the move? What do you see, for us as the next step forward in our collective liberation, processing everything that we've been discussing and thinking through?
In the most simplest ways, I'm thinking about Afrofuturism and thinking about the way that Afrofuturists thought it was important for us as Black people to interject ourselves into the future, and not thinking about how our future is limited by the structures we're living in right now. So I'm just thinking about everything I've learned in history, everything I feel right now. What does it look like for Black people to live free and liberation in a technology-driven world? In a world where AI and cryptocurrency is the currency and capital, what does it look like for me to envision how we can be in that world? And when I say be, I'm talking about like the way the white folks talk about being and becoming, not talk about our being in captivity, not our being, you feel me, limited by other people, and not us even being doers. You feel me? Us being beings and what that look like, and me being real about, you know, we got a very ugly immediate future to get through in order to get to where we trying to go.
Yeah, I mean, I love you citing Afrofuturism because I think it calls back the importance of our cultural creativity and our imagination. You know, Black folks creating the universe that we want to populate. So like y'all's generation, you know, got the Ryan Coogler version of, you know, a particular kind of representation of Afrofuturism. So for mine, it was X-Clan. Like, you know, in the late 1980s, early 90s, hip hop group that was collapsing space and time between the Nile Valley and West Africa and Cali and New York, right? Black is a color, but blackness a state of a mind state. But how many of you fake, right? So they were teaching, you know, and imagining, you know, like a different kind of future for our people that brings something crucial that we haven't talked about, which is the role of cultural production in it. It's not just because I like to spit and I can spit that I do spit as part of political ads. It's because the war for our people's consciousness is going to be fought in the culture. It's not going to be fought, you know, through electoral politics or even just through organizing. It's going to be fought through the culture. And this is one of the key lessons that I took out. You know, you got to learn from both the positive and the negative. And one of the things my models are the Panthers, and their model of mutual aid plus direct action and electoral power, that's literally why I run for office. And at the same time, there was a debate back in that day. Do we need a revolutionary culture or a cultural revolution? And you even see in like Judas and the Black Messiah, they would portray Fred Hampton as being against the Afrocentrics, right? But the thing is that we need both. We need people that are capable of understanding the material circumstances that our people face and providing anti-capitalist solutions to those material circumstances. But we also need to reconnect with that which colonialism broke and severed, because our people were making people into people for tens of thousands of years before white supremacy entered the scene. Ancient Egyptian metaphysical systems, African Islamic knowledge, West African religion, they made human beings into human beings. So for me, both things are necessary. We need to go back to the past. You referenced Sankofa, you know, beautiful, 10 out of 10 for the reference, because that's real. But it's not for nostalgia or to be on some when we was kings. It's actually to heal from the trauma of what this place did to us, and to remind ourselves that yes, this place has shaped who we are, and it made R&B, and it made jazz, and it made hip hop, and Blackness did not begin in bondage. We were making people into people for, you know, for hundreds of thousands of years before white supremacy came, and therefore we can imagine futures hundreds of thousands of years past white supremacy if we struggle for liberation in this moment.
Something random. At the NAACP,
Talk to me.
I had the opportunity of meeting Curtis Blow and Melly Mel at the same exact time, and I got a picture with him too.
Man.
But
I'm gonna need to see that pic. That's outstanding.
Yeah, I'm definitely posting that.
I mean, listen, if you want to know the truth, I mean, like literally, I stole money out my mama's purse to go buy Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang. And I will never forget riding around in my dad's locksmith van. It still had an 8-track player in it. That's how old it was. When I heard The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five come on the radio for the first time. And I was like, you can talk like this? You can tell the story about, you know, like, you know, a child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too, because only God knows what you'll go through. Because I was living it. I was living it. And I was like, you can say this, you can speak this, we can tell our truth. So we have to be able to tell our stories, imagine different futures. We have to be able to build solidarity, across, superficial differences of identity and ideology, because it is mandatory that we get free. Too many people done suffered and sacrificed for us to be dumb, fat, and happy, right? As a well-fed slave on Master's plantation. Like, nigga, it's freedom time. It's about time to get to the business of freedom.
And I think this is how we're gonna pick up our part 2 of this series. I would argue,
talk to me.
That Black culture, because it's been made, and it's because Black culture is so vibrant and it attract people in so much. I feel like American culture has figured out a way to make Black culture a soft power, a soft power arm of imperialism that says that, hey, listen, we let our niggas dance, we let them rap and sing. Look at what the clothes they have on. This is the great
turn around, pick a cotton, jump down, turn around, pick a bale of hay. I mean, like you can shuck and jive real good, and that's what it is, man. Now that soft power is real, and we definitely need to pick up with a part 2. I'm gonna say this is that if we are on our game and standing on our square, then we can do both things at the same time. We can give our people the political education, but we can do it in a way that is culturally relevant, that corresponds to our people's need for cultural fulfillment. Like, because that is the truth is that it's always been our culture that's driving liberation. Think about the fact that it was hundreds of different African ethnicities speaking different languages that managed to forge themselves into one people. That was culture work. That never happened in human history anywhere else before. The slaves of the Romans didn't make themselves into a people. The slaves of the Greeks didn't make themselves into a people. It had never happened. We did that. So Blackness by itself is a miracle. And the key to defeating white supremacy one good time, once and for all, is definitely going to come from us, because we have demonstrated the cultural creativity to do it. So we just need to get our folks politically awakened in a culturally relevant form. And I think that it's going to happen. Last thing I'm going to say is just because I just saw a text from my wife and reminded me that it's an hour long. It's supposed to be an hour long podcast. So we definitely going to have to schedule around too.
All right, wifey, I just got one last question.
Go ahead. You good.
Good way to bring it in. It's a good way to end it. Good way to end it.
Wrap it up.
This is for my own ignorance. What role does the governor, specifically, like if you was the governor of California, like what way would you be able to stop Donald Trump? Just out of curiosity, I'm asking G. I really don't know. So I don't know what the role of the governor of a state has in relationship to the president, and how the relationship between governor and president. What is there like? Is there a relationship? I don't.
Yeah. So you're going to hate this answer, because it's going to reveal to you how weak the Democrats are really playing right now. So I've said this many times. As governor of the state of California, I swear my oath to the Constitution. I don't swear it to an individual, which means that I am prohibited from complying with any unconstitutional demands that come from the federal government. And what that means in practice is that ICE is going to have to go through every single lawyer and law enforcement officer in the state of California before they so much as touch a hair on the head of any California resident. And any governor could say that and do that right now, but they won't, because the Democrats are like a boxer that is getting paid more money to throw the fight than they would get in prize money to win the fight. They could fight back, but it would cost them their donor base, so they don't fight back. As governor of California, I could direct the attorney general to investigate and, when relevant, prosecute any crimes in the Epstein files that took place in the state of California or that involved any California residents. But do either Team Blue or Team Red want any of that smoke? You know they don't, because they are in them files. Ain't no greens in them files, bro. So I'm coming for their necks. And what people don't understand is that in the state of California, the government has broad appointment power, we can essentially rewrite the deep state. We can get all the corporate stooges off of the payroll and get the most qualified people that don't take any PAC money or corporate money into running the state. They have been running this state like their personal trough that they use to feed their cronies and buddies. We can end that. California is the third largest economy on the planet. If the United States was split into 50 independent republics, the economy of California would be the third largest economy in the world, behind China and Germany.
Yeah, and Texas
So
would be
imagine having an actual Black radical, anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist leading divestment of the state of state resources from any genocidal or imperialist activities. Imagine standing up against ICE and turning the state law enforcement apparatus against the feds instead of having them running cover and carrying water for the feds. Imagine universal single-payer healthcare. Imagine housing first. What's housing first? It means that everybody eats before anybody gets seconds. So that right now we have 14 vacant properties for every homeless person that sleeps on the streets in the state of California. Not no more, we don't, because I'm gonna tax the shit out of Blackstone and BlackRock to where they can't wait to sell those vacant properties back to the state. And that becomes the social housing that we use to create not projects, but actual mixed income social housing. So it's about universal health care. It is about housing first. It is about human rights. That means protecting not just immigrant communities, but everybody, because I don't care who you pray with or who you lay with, your rights are sacred. So that means our LGBTQ plus family are going to be protected, and we're going to be standing 10 toes down, defending everybody's rights.
Thank you. Great answer. I just had to ask myself. I didn't know, honestly. I knew, but I didn't know.
You got it.
Not. So thank you. Appreciate you.
And I'll give you this one on the way out, is that if we are able to take California from the duopoly, they'll never recover. That means Freedom Day is coming for all of us, bro, because they got universal healthcare in one province in Canada, and then it spread across the whole country. Like, they will never recover from having a true revolutionary in that position of executive authority. And we are 8 points off the lead in polling right now. We got 3 months before the June 2nd primary. Ballots get mailed out on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. We doing a whole revolution and rebellion.
For your time, for your people, for your team right now, it's back right now for part 2.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. I do remember seeing them clips from Angela Rye, and this is what the question I got to ask you for next time is because I do remember now, because it was about the House and the Senate and Supreme Court and how to get bills paid if nobody else is part of the Green Party. So for part 2, I'm gonna be starting with how you govern and Black culture as a soft power imperial arm. You know,
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. You in Houston?
Yeah.
All right, so we supposed to have a fundraiser coming up in Dallas, not too far, because I got we got people all over the country that are contributing to the campaign. We're gonna do round 2 in person. I'm gonna come down there and see you.
For sure. And shit, if you let me know in advance, Houston, Dallas like a 3-hour drive. I pull up, I go to Dallas. If you let me know, you got my number. You got my number.
Yeah, I got your number. And anytime you're trying to, going back to Cali, you most welcome. So you try to pull up to the West Coast.
You in the Bay or you?
I'm in Santa Barbara. So I'm 90 minutes north of LA. So I'm in Santa Barbara. I'm between the two, but LA is closer to me. So anytime you're in LA, we'll make it happen.
I bet.
Right,
yeah, man. Well, how let the people, man. Definitely.
Yes, sir.